This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. What's up, freaks? Hey, look at that. There's Blue and Chloe. Hold on, I gotta go find my phone. I'll give him a biscuit. There you go. Well, how's everybody doing today? Yeah, they're pretty. Got kind of lucky with on the cuteness factor with the dogs. Yep. Yep. Pretty lucky. Yeah, some crazy cases out there. There was a mass shooting, I guess. Some racist guy went out and shot some. I don't know if they were all the victims were black or whatever, but sounds like he was a racist person, you know. Yeah, I mean, it's just really that kind of killing is just ridiculous too. I mean, not that any killings are good, but I mean, racism killings are just like, just because somebody isn't the same race as you, are you ridiculous? Hey, thanks, Cali Gal 3.
More Biscuits Fund.
More Biscuits Fund. Okay, I have to go get more biscuits. All right. More biscuit funds. Well, there you go. They got more biscuits. It's weird. Chloe normally doesn't even eat those things. I mean, just she sort of, you know, puts her nose up and pushes it aside like she's too good for it. But as you can see, she snatched it out of my hand that time. Yeah. Alright, so anyways, I think we'll just start off with the... Actually, we'll probably start off with this other one first. What the heck? Thanks, Tammy Morrell. Jeez. But my dearest friend into hospice as her health surrogate. She beat stage 4 sinus cancer. That sounds like a weird one. Never heard of that one. Just to have the radiation destroy both optic nerves and half of her brain. Timeline video is outstanding, and I'm watching the day trial after work. I didn't do day 1 today, but that'll be... I think I'll just do those during the weekday. Makes more sense. But thank you, and sorry about your friend. Yeah, radiation can have a lot of like crappy side effects on people. It's not good. They gotta figure something else out. I really like the gene therapy stuff. I think someday they'll get something in that realm that's going to, or something like the. Hey, there it is. The double cat eye.
Put my dearest friend into hospice as her health surrogate. She beat stage 4 sinus cancer just to have the radiation destroy both optic nerves and half of her brain. Timeline video was outstanding, and I am watching the day trial after work.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool if someday in the future they do something a little bit like how they did the coronavirus vaccine, but you could tailor it to each individual. You know, so it goes in there, and you know, you're putting in antibodies that attack your own, you know, but specifically targeted towards cancer cells, and then you adapt it. You know, you keep monitoring, and you just keep adapting, and then eventually you try to wipe it all out. Seems like that'd be a good way to do it. I think it's going to be something like that. Like a vaccine, or some sort of a gene. I don't know. It seems like more like a vaccine. You put a vaccine in there, and it's in your body to fight against that particular thing. I think that might be it. And it took it. That's crazy. That's probably a miracle, Nikki Zibs. That doesn't normally work. Yeah, you shouldn't have to use like stem cells or anything. It should just be. There's got to be a way that we should be able to inject somebody with something, and it goes through their body and destroys the bad and keeps the good. Instead of having to get it from something else. Right, that's what I'm saying. Individual, like you modify the, basically like the coronavirus vaccine. You know how they're quickly able to create new shots with the different variants out there. So they'll make something like that for people, and it's even more rapid. Where you go, okay, ooh, looks like there's another little different something going on there. Put that in there, ding, 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 ding. Just keep going, and it keeps fighting, because a lot of times it wears off, and then it doesn't seem to work anymore, and it's frustrating. I don't know about that one. Ramble on. I don't think there's anybody immune to cancers. It's like there's some people that don't have. There's people that have genes that make it so they get cancer more likely in their system. But I don't know when you say immune to something. But I'm not a doctor, so I don't really know. I mean, I have 2 doctors in the family, so we have conversations and whatnot, but yeah. Yep.
Okay, let's talk about crime.
Okay, well, I'm just conversing based on your original one. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, there's this one case out of Seattle, Washington. It's been going on. I mean, it happened a few days ago. So this is from like August 24th here. Cherished college student stabbed 107 times while defending mother from stepfather attack, authorities say. So, like, there's this... It just sounds really weird. Like, there's actually internal... See this video right here? That's that right there is internal video inside the house. And the guy that's way over here, you can see him standing there. Like, she goes over and they get in an argument, and then she starts punching her in the head. And then the daughter, who was asleep, I mean, you know, another absolutely beautiful woman, she goes in there and he stabs her over and over and over again. Even when she was on the floor dead, he goes over and like he changes his clothes and he gets a meat cleaver out and he starts hitting. I mean, this guy's a absolute psycho. A Washington State college student who had dedicated her studies and career to helping others was stabbed 100 times while defending her mother from her stepfather's attack in their Seattle home. Angelina Tran, a 21-year-old University of Washington student, died as a result of injuries on August 7th. This is University of Washington, so it's in Seattle. The other one's Washington State University, that's in Moscow, Idaho. Or not Moscow, but in Pullman, Washington. Her stepfather, I don't know how to pronounce that, let's see. Probably Weep King Cha or something like that. If that's how you, because you say win when it's NG, you know. I don't know. Nipkin King Cha or something, okay, is charged with first-degree murder and attempted first-degree murder in connection with the attacks against Tran and her mother, all of which was captured on home surveillance camera. This murder appeared to be the result of anger at his stepdaughter for intervening in the defendant attack on her mother. Angelina Tran's intervention allowed her mother to escape. So she came in and her mother escaped from it. And then she hid in a nearby bedroom, the mother did. But the defendant did not stop his attack. A complaint filed in King County states. So I actually have the criminal, here's the complaint right here. So let's go down to the part where they're talking about it. Yeah, right here. Okay, let's see. Police officers were dispatched to 5316 31st Avenue. I think I have this in here. A second. Yep. That's the address that was on Ben Verified. Coming in right here, just totally random. Right there in that house, right there. Let's see. RP saying husband hit her 21-year-old daughter. Medics declined. RP stopped answering after husband heard in background discussion. While en route, dispatch updated the call with RP back on phone saying husband hit her as well. Officers arrived at approximately 4:50. So it looks like really early in the morning, or it was when they got there. So 4:55 a.m. and after knocking at the front door, were met by Minn and Tran. Let's see. I guess she was born in 1972. Minn was visibly upset and had fresh bleeding injuries to her face. As Minn was being escorted out of the home, Minn's mother, let's see, Huang, I don't know who Minn is then. Let's see. That must be another relative or something. Huang Hua also appeared at the door and was escorted outside. Minn told the officers that her daughter, subsequently identified as Angelina Tran, was still inside the home. As SPD officers entered the front door on the main level, Nip K. Cha came down the staircase. He was born in 1969, so he's younger than I am. From the upper level and confronted the officers. Nip was holding a large, bloody, fixed-blade kitchen style knife, which he dropped when ordered to by the officers. Hey, thank you so much, Cheryl Bullock. So, man, so they come down, they open the door, he comes down the stairs, he's got this bloody knife on him. He was holding a large, bloody, fixed-blade kitchen knife, which he dropped when ordered to by the officers. Nip had fresh blood on numerous portions of his body, and he had fresh bleeding wounds to his right hand. So his right hand was wounded somehow. Thank you, Lillian. Let's see. And Cheryl Bullock. I guess every time Cindy shows up, we have to play this right here. Hey, Cindy. How's it going? I think that's sort of what it... That'd be funny. Cindy's going to go, oh, no, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Yeah. All right. Anyways. Right. So he had fresh bleeding wounds to his right hand, and then he was placed in handcuffs. And other officers went up the stairs to look for Angelina. As officers reached the top of the staircase, which opened up in a connected kitchen, dining room, living room area, they observed the stabbed and obviously deceased body of Angelina lying on her back on the floor of the kitchen. So that's pretty creepy when you think about, like, when you go back to that picture here. Right here, that's what they're talking about. This, can you guys see that very well? Or is it too small? Or hold on a second, I got a better, I'll let you see this in a better way here just a second.
Was fighting with his wife.
This is Fox
claiming
13.
He was afraid she would file for divorce. Suspect was fighting with his wife, claiming he was afraid she would file for divorce and take his money. His stepdaughter, Angelina Tran.
Interesting. Yeah, so here's like a little video that they actually have in there.
Is Nip Chow on August 7th, 2023. This is surveillance video obtained in a public records request from the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. It shows Chow's wife approaching him moments before police say he begins punching her at least 15 times in the face.
So right after this, he starts punching this lady in the face over and over and over again. And then the daughter comes in and then he kills her. But this is what it looks like. So the daughter was on the floor here in the kitchen. Right? So just, that's the area. Hold on, let me close that out. Don't need to see that. Have to have that playing now. Let's see. Lying on her back on the floor. So Angelina was on her back. At this point, Neep was taken into custody and medical attention was sought for his hand wounds and for Lynn's injuries. So Lynn must be the wife. The residence at 5316 31 Avenue Street was secured in anticipation of a search warrant for subsequent evidence recovery. 2 search warrants for the residence were obtained from King County Superior Court Judge Amy Sutton. An additional warrant was obtained for a sample of Neep's blood. During the search of the residence, an operational CCTV security camera system was found, which with active cameras capturing footage from both the exterior and interior of the residence. Footage from this camera system was subsequently forensically recovered, and video files depicting the initial disturbance and assault between Neep and Lynn, in addition to the homicide of Angelina. And they were all recovered right from that camera. It's all just, this guy has no chance of being found innocent. The residential cameras are motion activated, and therefore, so that means that if it's motion activated, it makes it tougher because there's usually a wait period before the next activation. So it says the residential cameras are motion activated, and therefore some interruptions in the video. Continuity occurred, which made obtaining an accurate count of times that Neep stabbed Angelina challenging. Based upon my review of the video available, Neep stabbed Angelina at least 107 times in the torso using both the knife that he was carrying when confronted by arresting officers and a separate meat cleaver style knife that he obtained from a kitchen drawer. I viewed several other recovered video files from inside the residence, and the following is a summary of the events as depicted in the video. I mean, this is insane, right? At about 4:43 a.m., Neep and Lynn were standing in the kitchen area when, we'll just say, the stepfather began to repeatedly punching Lynn in the face and head with his right fist. The stepfather struck Lynn about 15 times as she tried to move away from him by going towards the couch in the living room area. The stepfather followed after Lynn and continued to punch her. Angelina, probably who was asleep, I would imagine, is depicted exiting a back bedroom and approaching the stepfather and Lynn. It appears that Angelina was sleeping, there you go, and that she was awoken by the sounds of the stepfather assaulting Lynn. Angelina confronted the stepfather and physically placed herself between the stepfather and her mother in an attempt to stop him hitting Lynn, who is Angelina's mother. As this happened, the stepfather continued to punch Lynn and also struck Angelina in the face and head with a closed fist. Lynn tried to get away, and the group eventually stumbled to the kitchen floor area where Lynn was able to break free and run down the stairs. So she was able to get away because her daughter came in. Angelina held on to the stepfather in an attempt to keep him from going after her mother. I mean, she's like a hero. I mean, it's amazing, but it should have been the other way around. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Jesus. Attempt to keep him from going after her mother. Yeah. And eventually, they both fell to the ground near a folding metal dog kennel. Here, let me go look at that again. Yeah, right there. There's the folding metal dog kennel, just right in the middle of the room there. Okay, so they wrestled on the floor for a few moments before the stepfather was able to get up and drag the dog kennel piece. Wait, hold on. Let me see where I was. Hold on. Hey! The stepfather continued to punch Lynn and also struck Angelina in the face and head with a closed fist. Lynn tried to get away, and the group eventually stumbled into the kitchen floor area where Lynn was able to break free and run down the stairs. Angelina held on to the stepfather in an attempt to keep him from going after her mother, and eventually they both fell on the ground near the folding metal dog kennel in the middle of the room. They wrestled on the floor for a few moments before the stepfather was able to get up and drag the dog kennel piece that Angelina was sitting on towards the kitchen cabinets. The stepfather then opened a kitchen drawer containing multiple large fixed blade knives, removed one of them, and began to stab Angelina. She stood up and attempted to run away, but the stepfather grabbed a hold of look how weird this is for her. She was sleeping. It's almost like, is this a dream? A weird shit going on here? And then it just, probably when she was stabbed, she didn't even know what was going on. Like, was it real or? Once on the ground, Angelina continued to try and fight the stepfather off, and at times turned her back towards him, resulting in her getting stabbed in the back. The stepfather continued to stab Angelina in the chest until she fell into unconsciousness and eventually stopped displaying any signs of life. Even after Angelina appeared to be deceased, the stepfather stabbed her over and over again, at times taking a break for several moments to end up coming back to her body and stabbing her in the chest again. At one point, the stepfather returned to the kitchen return to the kitchen. Hold on a second. I gotta get that. Let's see. Stepfather stabbed her over and over again, at times taking a break for several moments to end up coming back to her body and stabbing her in the chest again. At one point, the stepfather returned to the kitchen knife drawer, recovered a large meat cleaver style knife, and chopped at Angelina's chest repeatedly. Recovered residential video also depicts the stepfather going downstairs during one of the breaks in between stabbing Angelina and appearing to search for the mother in the main level of the home. In the video, the stepfather is depicted carrying the initially chosen knife as he looks around the home and even acts as if he was considering kicking in the bedroom door of Hong. The recovered video also depicts the stepfather going back down the stairs with the knife in his hand as SPD officers arrive and enter the scene, the home. I mean, this is like right out of a horror movie here. This is ridiculous. The stepfather was subsequently interviewed by SPD Detective Atkinson with the assistance of court-certified Vietnamese interpreter David Nethery because the stepfather primarily spoke Vietnamese. The stepfather acknowledged his Miranda warnings and agreed to speak with the detective. During his interview, the stepfather explained that on the evening of August 6, 2023, he was at the home located at 5316 31st Avenue with his wife and Angelina and somebody named Hong there. I don't know if that's like another child or... The stepfather said he went to urgent care earlier in the day for high blood pressure and he was having difficulty sleeping. During the night, the stepfather said he walked out of the bedroom and he started, let's see, during the night, the stepfather said he walked out of the bedroom and he started bickering with, arguing with his wife about money in the living room area on the top floor. The stepfather said that he hit Lynn multiple times in the face because he was angry with her. The stepfather explained that he thought Lynn would divorce him and take his money. The stepfather said that Lynn never said this to him, but he thought it to be true. So it sounds like he was paranoid. While the stepfather was hitting Lynn, she called out for help. Angelina came into the living room and blocked the stepfather from hitting Lynn any further. The stepfather explained during the interview that he became angry with Angelina because she blocked him. The stepfather went to a drawer and selected a knife with a black handle at random. The stepfather stabbed Angelina in her chest multiple times, causing her to fall. The stepfather continued to stab Angelina while she was lying on the floor. The stepfather said he did not know if she was moving or making any sounds while she was lying on the floor. The stepfather said he was cold because he was covered in blood. The stepfather changed clothing and then selected a different knife. I don't believe that part. That's stupid. He was cold because of blood and then he changed clothes. No. The stepfather said he was cold because he was covered in blood. That actually makes him sound like there's something else, that it was more premeditated to make up an excuse like that. Stepfather stabbed Angelina in the chest with the second knife multiple times. The stepfather took the second knife downstairs towards the area that Lynn fled. The stepfather said that he was looking for Lynn so he could stab and kill her. So he's admitting that. Before the stepfather located Lynn, Seattle police arrived. Stepfather saw the police and threw the knife down. Stepfather was handcuffed by police. The stepfather told patrol officers, "I killed somebody." In addition to living in the same home as Lynn and Angelina, the stepfather has been in a relationship with Lynn for the last 19 years and married Lynn last year. Angelina considered the stepfather as her father and has also been part of his family life for the last 19 years. God, sort of weird, isn't it? It almost makes it seem like there's some other, it's so, do you guys think there's some kind of weird mental break in this one or something? It's just wild. 19 years and then one day you just, I don't know, it's a little different. It doesn't seem like there's a big build-up or anything, it's just... Angelina's body was recovered by the King County Medical Examiner, and following an autopsy determined that Angelina died from multiple stab wounds to her chest and vital organs. It was a homicide. Yeah. That's nuts, man. Jesus. Crazy. Yeah, well, we'd have to see. She'll come out and tell her story. So there it is. That's the house. Weird. Insanity. All right. Well, here we go, everybody. This is my nightly. If you'd like to help support the channel, I do these shows on a nightly basis to help support my show, and it allows me to make an income on here, and at the end of the month I donate a large portion of the income, usually around 50% of the net revenue, to various true crime related charities, and that's coming up here in 5 days. So it'd be nice to keep on going here. So if you can afford it, and want to help out, then that'd be great. If not, then hit the like button. You know, do some, you know, do what else you can do to help support the channel. You know, and but also, like I say a million times, if you want to, you know, send money directly to charities and whatnot, you know, feel free to do that. But if you'd like to help my channel out, and knowing that I also do help charities out at the end of the month, using a large portion of it, and it usually makes, that's why it's such a large number, because I do 30 shows at least a month, unless it's February, then of course, you know, it's either 28 or 29. Can I get a boom? Yeah. Thanks, Ashy Snow. Yeah. So, anyways, what a crazy story. I'd like to hear her account of what, you know, what's been going on. But I think that's why it's so valuable to have, when every once in a while when you can find the actual court documents, because then you don't have to. It's not random speculation in articles who leave out like 90% of the important stuff.
Peace, dog.
Could be.
Art and freaks. Can I get a boom?
I was looking at the other. I mean, she's so pretty again. I mean, it seems like it's just weird lately. Crazy, just. Maybe later. 8675309. Yeah. So I guess that's.
On August 7th, Angelina Tran.
I just want to see if they play any more of the video. Let's see. Man awoke early, sounds of struggle. Yeah, mother ran to the bedroom. I think we've just kind of gone over the whole thing. But anyway, that's another picture of her face better, and that's her standing there. I guess she was really a well-liked person, and you know,
Not that kind of boom.
just
The
another
other kind,
stupid
savage.
murder, you know. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to another story, another ridiculously creepy, yeah, wild story that's been going on lately. I hadn't really heard of it, but until, I don't know if it was Ada, somebody sent me an email. Andrea Vasquez, alleged killer, facing disturbing charges in teen kidnapping. Let's see. Let me check something out. So that's the 23rd. Let me get these in order. Just a second. Might take a second. Yeah, so this is the victim in this one. I mean, like, have you seen any more two prettier people than the last two cases? I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, not that looks has anything to do with being murdered. It's just like, it seems like lately there's been this like almost an obsession with killing people that are like models almost. It's weird. Yeah, I'm just gotta get these in order because I think they were over time. Which one is this? Okay, well this is the oldest one here, I guess. I don't think it's gang related at all. I think this is a psycho, serial killer, almost... what made you think it was gang related? Just because of the look of them? Yeah, a 20-year-old Whittier man was arrested in the shooting death of a 19-year-old woman who disappeared from a park in Whittier over the weekend. Gabriel Esparza was arrested in connection with the shooting and kidnapping of Andrea Vasquez, 19, who was last seen shortly after midnight Sunday morning in the parking stalls area of Penn Park, according to the Whittier Police Department. Yeah, so I don't really have where she lived, but it's not really part of the case. So this is in California here. Is it? Hold on. Ah, man, just unreal. Thank you, Julia Morales. Yeah, so the killer actually lives right here. So he was in there. And then here's this park that Angelina and her boyfriend were hanging out at. Vasquez and her 20-year-old boyfriend of just a few months were sitting in the back of a car. So they're sitting in the back of a car. The trunk open. No, like sitting in the back. The trunk open at the park. Does that mean they were sitting like the trunk's open? They're just sitting there. Someone approached and opened fire, family member said. The boyfriend dropped to the ground for safety, and when he returned to the car, he found blood, but no sign of Vasquez, the family said. So he actually freaked out. He just took off. He just... Once there's shots fired, see, people are online trashing the boyfriend. Like, because he wasn't there to jump right in the middle of the gunfire. I mean, give me a break, Like, somebody's firing, your first thing is just dive on the ground somewhere. You don't go... Yeah, it's just what it is. I mean, if you have children, maybe it's different, but even parents do similar things. It's just sort of like this automatic reaction. The boyfriend dropped to the ground for safety, and when he returned to the car, he found blood, but no sign of Vasquez. Vasquez was taken from the vehicle in what police described as a random act of violence. There appears to be no connection between the accused shooter and victim, said Whittier officer Thomas Madison. At this time, it appears that Andrea Vasquez and her male companion were randomly targeted by the suspect at Penn Park. Former LAPD detective Moses Castillo, who has been assisting the family, confirmed to NBC-LA early Tuesday afternoon that police informed family members of Vasquez's death. The victim's body was found... Oh my God. What's going on, Blue? Was found in a vegetation field off Alessandro Boulevard and Merwin Street in Moreno Valley. So I think I even have that location. So it's 50 miles away her body was found. And it's right here. I'm not sure what made him think of this place, but here's Alessandro Boulevard, and then this is Merwin Street, and it was in a vegetative field over here, so it's, you know, it's likely right here, right over here. Right in this area. So this area looked like this. You know, he would have just drove over out in this area and, you know, I mean, hell, probably, you know, could even look like that. I wonder what the hell that is, by the way. I mean, that's pretty weird, right? Like, this is Google Earth, but, yeah, it looks like a pile of clothing right in the middle of this, exactly the same area. That's March 2023. Who was the guy that thought that you could have, was it Dan Carr? I can't remember. Where it was like the vision. You could use Google Earth. Or was that Jay? No, it was Jay Case. Jay Case vision. No, I don't think it's gang related at all. I think this guy is just a absolute psycho. Yeah, so she was found right out here. I think people are saying gang related because of they're Hispanic. Okay? That's why people are saying that. If these are all white people, nobody would have said that. And that's true, right? I mean, just, you know, kind of just look inwardly and go, yeah, that is kind of true, isn't it? I mean, if it was, these are all white people, nobody would have said that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I guess you might be, if you're saying that the area is gang related, then I could see you thinking that, but I mean, if you when you go through this, it's pretty crazy, though, right? Yeah. Let me go through these in order. So this is the guy right here. Note the low ears again, everybody. Remember how I told you about that? The low ears. Pretty weird. There's an ad here that I gotta... How do I close it? Okay. It was Sunday night, and a young couple were sitting together in a car at a park near Los Angeles. Yeah, his father's a fireman, I think. Or not just a fireman, I think he was like in leadership. I can't remember exactly now, but it was a Sunday night, and a young couple were sitting together in a car at a park near Los Angeles. What happened next was something straight out of a horror movie, except this was real life. A gunman suddenly opened fire on the couple before pulling 19-year-old Andrea Vasquez from the car. Vasquez's boyfriend escaped the gunfire, but returned to the vehicle to find she had been kidnapped. You know, I mean, so he must have sort of ran and then fell. I mean, dove to the ground, but you know. People don't know what they would do in a hail of gunfire. Vasquez's boyfriend escaped the gunfire but returned to the vehicle to find she had been kidnapped. After an intensive one-day search, the harrowing incident culminated in despair as Vasquez's body was found in a field and a suspect who has no known connections to the couple was arrested for her murder. The horror unfolded just after midnight on Sunday, the 20th of August, when Vasquez and her boyfriend were sitting in a car at Penn Park in Whittier. Her boyfriend told police that an armed suspect then approached their vehicle and fired a weapon in their direction. Vasquez's boyfriend fled the scene, and when he returned, he discovered blood near his car and his girlfriend missing. I mean, what's weird is he must have went a long ways away because he didn't even know what happened. You know what I mean? They make it sound like he just dove to the ground, but it's not. It doesn't. To me, it doesn't sound like that at all. It sounds like he, tried to go hide, and then when he came back to the area in the car, she's gone, right? Now there's just, some oddities with the low ear things with the sexual predator deviants, strange. Her boyfriend told police that an armed suspect then approached their vehicle and fired a weapon in their direction. Vasquez's boyfriend fled the scene, and when he returned, he discovered blood near his car and his girlfriend was missing. Oh, thank you up there to Julia Morales and Eugenie. Vasquez has been kidnapped from the scene. Officers were alerted to a shooting and kidnapping incident located at the parking stalls area at the Penn Street Park there. In a statement following her kidnapping, police said that Vasquez was last seen wearing a black long-sleeve crop top, khaki pants, and black low-top Converse shoes. She has a tattoo of Edelin on the back of the neck, Aries constellation on the top of her right hand, and a belly button piercing, the statement read. Vasquez's sister, Edelin, with whom she lives in Los Angeles, I bet you Edelin has a tattoo that says Vasquez or Angelina on it, put out a plea on Facebook for the public's help in finding her. My sister was shot and kidnapped at Penn Park. Her last location shows Moreno Valley. So they actually followed her phone. The family did, the location into Moreno Valley. We don't know her condition. Please, I'm begging. If anyone has information or the heart to share this, please contact me and repost. And down here it says, following the horror kidnapping. I mean, the writing here is a little, I don't know who's writing it, but it has that similar sound to some of the Daily Mail articles sometimes. Following the horror kidnapping, a huge search was launched to try to find the missing 19-year-old. That search ended in tragedy on Monday, August 21st, when at around 11:50 p.m. local time, authorities combing the area of Moreno Valley made a gruesome discovery. Police said that the teen's body had been found in a vegetation field off Alexandra Boulevard and Merwin Street in Moreno Valley. It is currently unclear how she died or the nature of the scene where her body was found. The investigation remains ongoing, but police said that it appears that the attack on Vasquez and her boyfriend was randomly targeted. On Tuesday, August 22nd, police announced an update on the case. A suspect was taken into custody. Detectives from the Whittier Police Department and the LADA Community Violence Reduction Team arrested Gabriel Esparza, a 20-year-old man and Whittier residents, in connection with the kidnapping and shooting of Vasquez. Mr. Esparza was taken into custody at his workplace in the city of Lakewood and booked into Whittier Police Department jail on charges of murder. During his arrest, officers discovered a weapon and Esparza's white Toyota Tacoma truck, which are believed to have been used at the time of the shooting. Now, this relentless investigation and yesterday's arrest were made possible by the dedication and commitment of our investigation division with the assistance of the Riverside County Sheriff's Department, Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, Downey Police Department, The suspect pleads not guilty. Mr. Esparza entered a not guilty plea when he made his first court appearance. Let me go to these other articles up here. 23rd. think that's the one we just did. And this one... Yeah, so he's 20. And there's a picture of him there. I mean, hell, his ears are below his nose almost. So, Gabriel Esparza, a resident of California, was apprehended by Whittier Police Department on suspicion of homicide. According to law enforcement officials, Vasquez was fatally shot while seated in a parked vehicle with her boyfriend. So he took her anyways. I mean, this guy's, there's something really sick going on here. Her boyfriend managed to escape the gunfire. Detectives made the grim discovery of Vasquez's lifeless body on Monday around 11:50 p.m. in a field close to the location of her phone. The Whittier Police Department initial assessment suggests this was a random attack and there appears to be no prior connection. Authorities have retrieved Esparza's 2013 white Toyota Tacoma truck and a weapon believed to have been involved in the incident. A Southern California family has been left heartbroken and desperate for answers after 19-year-old Andrea Vasquez was allegedly kidnapped over the weekend. Police have said the teen was kidnapped in a Whittier parking lot on Sunday just after midnight. A new development has it that she has been found but dead. Police reportedly found Andrea's body in a vegetation field after a day-long search. A 20-year-old man named Gabriel Esparza is being held without bail for the alleged murder. This is ABC News here in the area. Andrea Vasquez found. Suspect pleads not guilty in murder kidnapping. The alleged gunman in the killing of a 19-year-old in Whittier, California, has been charged with multiple felonies, including murder, kidnapping, and attempted rape. 7 formal charges were filed against 20-year-old Gabriel Esparza in connection with the death of Andrea Vasquez, according to a criminal complaint submitted in Los Angeles County Superior Court. Among the criminal counts were attempted murder, kidnapping to commit another crime, assault with intent to commit a felony, and 2 counts of attempted forcible rape. Esparza, who is the son of a Los Angeles County fire captain. So the killer, his dad is a Los Angeles County fire captain, entered a not guilty plea at a court appearance Wednesday afternoon. Vasquez was kidnapped during a shooting at a park over the weekend and was later found dead, authorities said, adding that the attack was believed to be random. The incident happened near the parking stalls of Whittier Penn Park. According to family members, Vasquez was at the park with her boyfriend when an armed man approached their vehicle and opened fire. Her sister Edelyn Vasquez said the boyfriend fled, and when he returned, Vasquez was gone. As he turned his back to ask for help, in that moment my sister was kidnapped. Police said Esparza, a Whittier resident, was arrested at his place of employment Monday in Lakewood, California. He was booked into the Whittier Police Department jail and has been held without bond. At this time, it appears that Andrea Vasquez and her male companion were randomly targeted by the suspect at Penn Park. The body of Andrea Vasquez, who was a fashion design student at Fullerton College and worked at a mall in Cerritos, California, was found late Monday night in a vegetation field. I'm not sure why they keep calling it vegetation field, just kind of weird. Today is the worst day of my life. We received the news that my daughter died, Andrea Vasquez's mother, Anna Vasquez, said at a news conference. We had a lot of hope that she was alive. Andrea Vasquez had said she was able to track Andrea's location for a few minutes shortly after the attack using Apple Find My iPhone feature. I tracked it to going down the 60. I started following it. Let's see. Going down the 60. Well, the park's right there. Oh, there it is. So he must have maybe cut across like that, got on the 60 over here, and then 60 probably all the way down into right into here. That kind of makes sense. Stopped in Moreno Valley, and that's the last known location that I have of her. A weapon believed to have been used during the crime was recovered, investigators said. Esparza's vehicle, a 2013 white Toyota Tacoma truck, was also found. More than 100 people attended. Yeah, Blue hasn't been doing that cough all day until right now. Blue, come on. More than 100 people attended a memorial vigil in Vasquez's honor Tuesday evening. I feel wonderful to see all these people who love my daughter. I thought I read somewhere where this guy, like, shit, I can't remember. He talked to police too. What do you mean? Nope, just did it again. Huh? What does that even mean? Anything from today? Yeah, I mean, I think he just set out to sexually attack her. That's what I think. And what's weird is even after he shot her and she died, I guess, maybe she was still kind of alive at the time, but he takes her and, I mean, Jesus, what the hell's going on? Let's see.
Well, we begin with disturbing new details in the shooting death of Andrea Vasquez in Whittier.
The suspect accused in the 19-year-old's death has been charged with multiple felonies, including murder, kidnapping, and attempted rape. 20-year-old Gabriel Esparza pleaded not guilty to charges today. The victim's family attended the arraignment. Police say Esparza chose his victims at random, using a rifle to shoot at Vasquez and her boyfriend early Sunday morning as they sat in a car at Penn Park. Her boyfriend ran for help, and when he returned, both Vasquez and Esparza were gone. Prosecutors say Esparza took off with the victim in the bed of his pickup truck and drove to a remote area in Moreno Valley where he attempted to rape her. Vasquez's body was found there the next day. Esparza expected to be back in court on October 25th.
Isn't that weird? Andrea Vasquez's body was found in a vegetated field. Jeez. So loud. Hey, thank you, CR. Appreciate it. Look at that. That's a creepy shot right there. That's the sister right here that she had the tattoo of. Well, that's a crazy one there, man. I'd like to know more about him. Like, what's he been up to? I mean, that's weird. Shoots. One guy runs and then he. Yeah, I mean, he still just grabs her, puts him into his vehicle, and then drives her away. It's weird. That's what. Both of these last two are spooky cases because it's just like. The first one in the Tran case, somebody just absolutely snaps. I mean, who knows what the hell's going on there? Then this one, boyfriend and girlfriend are just sitting there, hanging out together, and some psycho shows up and starts shooting at them, and then hits the female, and then abducts her and kills her. And now it's kind of ruined probably the boyfriend's life and her life. And I mean, obviously she's dead, and her entire family's life. It's crazy. Huh? No, it's not. That doesn't make any sense. Ramble on. You're rambling on again. Let's see. Yeah, who knows? You have those issues, don't you, Cindy? Impulse control. You just kind of type whatever pops into your head instead of. Has the world always been this dangerous? Well, it could also be that everything's covered more, but there's just more people too. I mean, if there were 10 million psychos 50 years ago, there's now 20. No, he doesn't have pancreatitis. I think he has got an enlarged heart, so it's pushing on his trachea, so he's coughing. I've already explained it multiple times. But we're going in for an ultrasound to verify all that stuff. It'd be cool if there was actually, some sort of a. Hopefully, I almost kind of wish it's like fluid in his lungs, so then you can take the diuretic, and then he doesn't have that problem. Thank you, Music Maker. I heard my local news that he did not have a record. Yeah, I didn't see anything for him.
Hey Gray and fellow freaks.
But anyway, thanks for asking about Blue, but it's just one of those things like that's what they told us. And so he's on this sort of next time he coughs, I'll give him something, but he doesn't seem to cough as much. That was the first time I heard him today. And I've been here the whole day, so. Anyways, thank you. Thank you. I mean, this is one of those cases that reminds me of that one case that I often refer to, but I don't remember the name of it or anything. Where there's this Asian person who followed this lady down a path. You see it on surveillance. She walks down this path, and then then he comes back later and puts something in a garbage can. And then later on, they find out that that lady was dead and he killed her down there. And then in an interrogation video, they asked him, like, hey, well, why'd you do it? And he goes, I don't know, I just wanted to see what it felt like to kill somebody. And that's it. It was as simple as that. I mean, how spooky is that shit? Those are the scary people right there. Because it didn't bother him a bit, and he did it anyways, and so I guess it doesn't really matter what your nationality is or anything. There's psychopaths everywhere. Remember the guy in Japan who used to... this is Japan in a nutshell for you. This guy I can't remember what his name is, but he literally would bring people over, kill them, and then eat their parts of their bodies and stuff, and he would eat them, and that's what he would do. And then they let him out of prison at some point later. He's walking around. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. How does somebody get out of prison ever? That's like letting Ed Kemper out. Yeah, that's crazy. Let's see, what's his name? Yeah, same as there he is right there. This weird guy right here. Like Issei Sagawa. That's him. Yep. Also known as Pang or the Kobe Cannibal, was a Japanese murderer, cannibal, and necrophiliac known for killing of Rene Hardevelt in Paris. Yeah. Yeah, Issei Sagawa, a Japanese murderer known as the Kobe Cannibal, who killed and ate a Dutch student but was never jailed, has died at age 73, I guess. So that was just this last year. I didn't know he died. I knew about the story 4 years ago or so. Sagawa died of pneumonia on November 24th and was given a funeral attended only by relatives with no public ceremony planned. In 1981, Sagawa was studying in Paris when he invited Dutch student Renee Hardevelt to his home. He shot her in the neck, raped her, then consumed parts of her body over the course of 3 days. Sagawa then attempted to dispose of her remains in the Bois de something park, Bologna Park, and was arrested several days later, confessing his crime to the police. But in 1983, he was deemed unfit for trial for French medical experts, so maybe this was in France then, and was initially held in a psychiatric institution before being deported to Japan in 1984. Hardevelt's family pledged at the time to push for Sagawa to be prosecuted in Japan so that the murderer would never go free. But on his arrival, he was ruled sane by Japanese authorities, who decided Sagawa's only problem was a character anomaly, and that he did not require hospitalization. Japanese authorities were unable to get his case files from the French counterparts, who considered the case closed, leaving the murderer to walk free. Sagawa made no secret of his crime and capitalized on his notoriety, including with a novel-like memoir titled In the Fog, in which he reminisced about the murder in vivid detail. The murder was also the subject of Japanese novelist Jiro Kara's letter from Sagawa-kun, which won the Akatagawa. I can't pronounce any of these words. Despite the heinous details of the murder and his lack of remorse, Sagawa gained a level of celebrity and regularly gave interviews to domestic and international media in the years after his return. He was featured in a magazine for his paintings of naked women, appeared in a pornographic movie, and produced a manga comic book that depicted his crime in the graphic and unrelenting detail. The sordid fascination with the murder even saw it referenced by the Rolling Stones and the Stranglers in songs. So anyways, I think that's just ridiculous, you know? Alright, so we're having another one of those lull periods in here. So again, if you'd like to help support the Gray Hughes Investigates channel, please do so. We've got at the end of the show, the end of the month is coming up in 5 days, and we've got another maybe, hour and 40 minutes or so on here.
Let's not forget
Thanks, Jim Long. Yeah, don't forget. Well, the truth is this: and in World War II, the Japanese were barbarians. Okay, Now, when I say Japanese, I'm talking about the military. I don't know what the citizens weren't part of what the military was out there doing, but what they did in the Philippines and all the other countries they went into, they were absolute monsters. Okay, so yeah. What happened, Michelle? You okay? In Unit 731. Yeah. Are you talking about the bombs? Yeah. Yep. The bombs probably ended up saving a lot of lives in World War II because it would have been a land invasion, and it just a lot more people would have died, and it just stopped the war cold, basically. Not saying it was great to do or anything like that, but thanks, Jim Lawn up there. Hello, anybody here? Yep. Well, I'm not sure why it's acting up. I mean, is it acting up anywhere else? Because I don't have any difference on my show than other people. It must just be a YouTube thing. As long as I'm streaming, it's working. Yeah, I mean, I do have a Venmo account. I don't know what the moderators don't seem to be putting in the links that we normally do, but it is out there. Thanks, Robin Berardo. What do you mean it's not letting us post all comments? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. No, I don't think so. I think yeah, see, it works if you just type that in. It's right there. Yeah, I get that I get that every once in a while when I comment somewhere. Yeah, maybe just refresh or something. Thank you, Deborah Blum Rogers. Yeah, well, thanks, Michelle. Yeah, this guy got upset. He sent me an email. See, he made a comment underneath my video that was like, it was basically a novel. It was so ludicrous, and I deleted it because I don't do the conspiracy theory shit. And he goes, I wrote a really insightful, well thought. No, it was a piece of crap is what it was, okay? It was garbage, and it's not going to survive there. I don't care if you just disagree something, but when you disagree, when you have your rebuttal to it, make sure it's something that actually makes sense and not some wild ass conspiracy theory nut job comment, okay? Now that'll help out a lot. And make sure it's something that's way more likely than what I said. Like I say, well, I think 1 + 1 = 2, and you go, well, I think it might be 3. Well, that's not really, it's not true. You want me just to accept it like it's a good idea, or... Yeah. I don't know. It's that's one of the things that bothers me. Like when I work through theories, I'll give you the one that's it's not always. It seems like a really likely one, but every once in a while somebody has one using all the facts that's even more likely, and I'll immediately adopt theirs because it was better than what I said. Okay? But not a lot of times though, people will say, "Well, how do you know it wasn't?" And then they and fill in the blank with the most unlikely thing you've ever heard and almost completely irrational. But yet they get mad if you don't accept it. Well, it could be gray. It's possible, right? Yep, it's possible. It is absolutely true. Aliens could have cloned a person to look just like Brian Kohberger, had him drive around in a white Elantra for hours. And Kohberger himself was sleeping, but they implanted a dream that he had that he was driving around. And that's the only reason he's saying, well, I was driving around late on the 12th and in the early mornings of the 13th because aliens implanted a dream inside of his head, but the aliens themselves put a fake Brian Kohberger into another white Elantra that's missing a front license plate and just sort of guided it around from outer space with a remote control. It was weird. I know. Listen. It's possible, right? I mean, given the technology that aliens have, it is possible, right? Hey, thanks, Cindy. No, it's not. Gosh, Gray, it really is. I know it's possible, you meanie. You bastard. I can't believe it. Yeah, that's true. He could be one of the lizard people. With those damn bushy eyebrows. No, I wouldn't be able to do a conspiracy night. Because I wouldn't be able to talk about it without getting angry. It's like, I wouldn't be able to just sit there and go, that's a great one. Because when you do that, that's when people bring up random people's names and, forget it. Thank you, CR. Oh, thank you, let's see. Thank you, Jory on Venmo there. Thank you. Yeah, Occam's razor is definitely the sharpest way to go. Yeah. Who's Isa? I'm so unreasonable, I know. Isn't it amazing? Marianne? Bobani? I'm so unreasonable. But Gray, a good conspiracy is really fun. Is it really? Well, what's fun about it when it doesn't, and it's not real? Oh man, I couldn't sleep last night. I was sitting there thinking that this other guy with the initials BK was working for the CIA, and and they shot him to keep him quiet, and then they pinned the whole murder on Kohberger. Oh, it makes so much sense, everybody. Yeah. Does it really? People have the weirdest imagination sometimes. Yep, they sure do. Yeah. Cindy said, let's get to the goal, guys. I tell Gray to be patient and let us cook. Well, hey, you know what? That's what I'm saying. I'm patient. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the thing is I try to tell everybody this every single night, but it doesn't seem to sink in. It's like when I do these live streams, you guys are the sole source of income. There isn't any ad revenue for the 3 hours. Right? So for the last 4 years, every single night, the freaks are supporting the channel if they can, and we have kicked ass. $163,600 has been given to charity from the income from this channel. That's pretty amazing. If you can find any counterpart to that that's equivalent of any way whatsoever, let me know. So, you know, it's one of those things where I want to continue to keep doing these shows, and that's the only way to make it happen. Because there'd be a point where if it got to where we were just like, yeah, then I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd just go to making videos and just every once in a while do a live stream or something. But you know what I realized was, I think during the pandemic years, it was weird because I was sort of like, we were all just people trying to get through it all together. And now that that's kind of over and everything like that, I think people, you know, this is sort of went away from that, or whatever the hell it was. I mean, it's kind of strange. Are we back on the crazy chat thing? Because there hasn't been another comment for like 5 minutes again. Yeah, well, we all hung out here every single night throughout that entire time. But as you can see, Cindy J, there's these long lulls, and sometimes you wonder, because last night was one of those lucky nights where I had 3 people with these larger ones, and it looked more successful than it was. No, I'm on live chat. I've switched back and forth a couple times to see what's going on. But thanks, Michelle H. Jesus, Cindy, you're the one that said you're the one that wasn't patient with your comment above. Tomorrow might be like a late nighter type. No, Cindy can't get a boom. Maybe after we get to the goal, I'll do a boom or something, but we're not there yet. Yeah, we caught a few little pumpkin seed sunfish. Yeah. See, I'm nervous too because the cold case is just a whole bunch of newspapers.com, and we see what happens during those. So I'm kind of hoping to get to the goal before I even get to the newspapers.com shit. And yes, I have goals here because I know what it takes to do what I do. You know, the income that comes in, and then the charities at the end of the month. I'll be up with the drunk neighbors. What? I wasn't sarcastic at all. She thought you deserved the boom, Cindy. So she sang it. Yeah, maybe I'll put Cindy in prison here for creating such these issues here. Where is that? Does anybody want to bail? Where's Cindy up there? Where is that? I think I have it right down here. There you go. Who's going to bail Cindy out of prison? She's absolutely... Let's see what you got for Cindy here. Does anybody have any love? for Cindy J. Is anybody getting her out of prison? Well, I'm doing it anyway, Cindy. It's to bail you out. Will it happen? We don't know.
For Cindy's boom lol.
That doesn't count, Eugenie. That's really just for a piece of cake to put a file in. Okay? So the guard's still sitting there, and he's just going, yep, yeah, we're going to need... For the guy lurking on Cindy J. Yeah, there you go. Now that is delivering the cake to Cindy's cell with the skeleton key in there. Oh, yeah.
For the guy lurking on Cindy J.
Hey everybody! Yeah! Can you bail out Cindy? Can I get a boom? To bail out Cindy? Yeah, yeah, yeah! Boom! Oh yeah! Cindy's the greatest! With her boom, can I get a boom? Say it with me now! Boom! Boom! Hey! Frazzled cat gave Cindy a boom. Can I get a boom? Can I get a boom? Yeah! Cindy's boom, she ain't no boom. She ain't no doom, but she got a boom. Boom, she ain't no boom. She ain't no doom. Get a Cindy boom. Cindy. Yeah. And Peter, Peter, with a boom. She's got no doom. We'll see you soon. Doom, yeah, 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 yeah. Cindy J is a doom, and a gloom, and a boom. We'll see you soon, Peter.
That's the Cindy J song. Hey, everybody, thanks for bailing Cindy J out of prison. Yep, napkins for the cake. Oh, and look at that. Bama forever. Thought I would stop by to say hi before going to bed. Poor Cindy J is in jail. Well, she's out of jail now. And 867-5309 got her Cindy Boom song before we even got to the goal, but I guess that counts. Cindy now has a hotel and a nice restaurant. Yeah. Thank you, A Wrinkle in Crime.
Before going to bed. Poor Cindy J is in jail.
Yeah, poor Cindy J. I do kind of like that song for some reason. I think there's cuss words in it. It's weird. You guys notice that? That one could find... No, nobody couldn't find it, Cindy. Nobody was looking it up. Yeah. So what she looked up was, how are K-bar knife sheaths made? Nobody else would bother looking it up. You know? So she looked it up and went, "Can I get a boom?" Like it was some incredible discovery that took hours of landmark-breaking research. You know, literally things that only super sleuths can do. So, yeah. But thanks, though. I mean, I'm glad you looked it up. I think it says like effing something. Did you guys hear that? Hey, can we just listen to that part again with just to see if we can hear it in there? No, nobody looked it up. That's why they didn't know the answer, Cindy. So let's just see. Let me see if we can hear the words. You love this song by itself, don't you? 8675. Okay, listen. Like right there, like right there. Doesn't it say like effing now? You guys? It says like effing now. I mean, you guys hear that or not? Panera? Right there, right there. Effing now. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? I see her effing. I hear it goes effing now. Wow, listen. Oh, Okinawa, is that what it's saying? Is that what it's saying? Okinawa. I think it's like Okinawa. Are you kidding me? I can't unhear what I heard, everybody. I can't unhear it. Right, so everyone's here. Okay, now, right, but there, I don't know, man. I hear something else. I hear it like say effing now. I don't know. I think I'm onto something, you guys. I do. Okinawa. Okinawa. Well, they think it says Okinawa. Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Marianne. Something like that. It was kind of weird. Yeah, well, it's kind of like, you know the song by Police, that My Fool Heart Aches? I always thought it said, I'm a pool hall ace. I mean, you listen to it now and it sounds just like that. Not, and my fool heart aches. It's like, I'm a pool hall ace. Right? So everybody hears whatever they want to hear. I was always like, wow, you're a pool hall ace. That's so cool, man. No, it says my fool heart aches, you idiot. Okay. What is it? I don't even know what that is. I don't think it's Freudian. I actually hear it saying that. Yeah. Right after I gave the answer. No. Oh yeah, Cindy, you're responsible for everything, even though I wasn't on the show regarding that topic. You thought it was, and my poor heart aches? Yeah, I think it's fool heart. I don't know. And thank you, Bama Forever, up there. Appreciate it. Saving my career. Thanks, Cindy. Yeah, that really helped a lot. I think it says my fool heart aches, right? Let's see. I'll be watching. Not sure if that's the name of the song. Yeah, that's it. Oh, I guess it says, it does say poor heartaches. What was the word that, how come it, oh man, I guess it doesn't even say fool heart aches. Man, I don't know, I have a clue what that song said then. Maybe that's why I thought it said pool hall, because I knew I could hear the P, but people said fool, and I go, well, F and P are sort of similar. The fricative. The cab ride. Thanks, Caligal 3. There's no fool in here? That's God. Now, man, now I'm having, what's that thing called where if something was always in existence, but it really wasn't? It's just something that everybody believed. That's so weird. Man. You're right. Your poor heart. There you go. Yeah, the Mandela effect. Yeah, that's what I'm having right now. Because I swear to God, I've corrected it to say fool, you know, and that, but it's not. It's poor. Poor is in there. Mondegreen. Huh? Mondegreen.
Cab ride.
Awesome. All right. Well, anyways, I'm going to get to this next story. So it is breeding. So, you know, make sure to not forget about helping support the channel even during the reading times. Okay? And communicate with each other in there. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't all have to be the bells and whistle fun stuff. It does, Gray. It does. So here is Kristin O'Connell, unsolved homicide victim, August 15th, 1985, with Cindy's text on top of it, in Ovid, New York, a really small little town there. I think this one is known out there. These blue lines represent other times they've been clipped over the years. You guys ready? You guys ready? Thanks, Cherdoobie. Are you a Nerf mouse? What do you mean a Nerf mouse? I don't get it. My mouse is quiet. A Nerf mouse. Oh, for the dogs or what? I don't get it. Oh yeah, because yeah, I go like that, but like right now it's quiet and it clicks quietly. But yeah, Oh, I throw it down? Yeah, I go like that. But it's on a pad over here. It's not like it's breaking or something. Man, you guys are like you pay way too much attention to the little stuff like Cindy does all the time. Oh, did you see that? Did you see Gray? The door must open. Did you hear that? Oh God, oh somebody, it must be like somebody. Just watch the show, for God's sakes. We don't need the play-by-play for all the sound effects. I don't understand anything. I'm visiting the drunk neighbors. Yeah, well, that's good. Right, but you don't need to type it in, you know what I mean? It's just, it is what it is. I don't really care. You can type it in all day. It doesn't really... I'm just like, isn't there something about like one of the cases that you would notice? Using the same sleuthy ability. Maybe that would help out more, you know? Okay, Jory said, let's wrap up what a mondegreen is. A form of error arising from mishearing a spoken or sung phrase. Yeah, except mine was different because I thought it said, I'm a pool hall ace, and then I'm almost positive that somebody corrected me at some point to say it says my fool heart aches, but then it's actually my poor heart aches. So I guess you could say it happened twice, but the other time was written. Wait, hold on a second. What does it say? Every breath you take. The police. Every breath you take. Misheard lyrics. Every fool heart aches. Or every poor heart. Which is so weird because I thought it said pool hall ace, but it was corrected to fool heart aches. Because somebody, you know what's funny? I think this is how it went. I said, oh, it says, I said it's a pool hall ace. And somebody goes, no, because they misheard it and told me that it said, no, it's fool heart aches. And I went, oh, okay. And then I learned from somebody else that actually heard it incorrectly. And I heard it incorrectly the original time. Isn't that funny? So two of them. Every poor heart aches. The original lyrics, how my poor heart aches. That's hilarious. Yeah, I thought it was just like a... Because remember in the video, he's in a pool hall, right? Something like that. So I thought that's what he was saying. I don't know if that's where the video was, but that's what my memory is right now. That's a stalker song. Yeah, so I had a double mondegreen, or however you pronounce it. So doesn't that mean that it's now exactly what I said it was originally? This is the one where it's, I think that's Look at. Listen to that part right here. You don't hear pool hall ace. Listen to this. Listen. Oh my God, it's just, listen. There it is, listen. Look at, I'm a pool hall ace. It says it again, everybody. You can't hear that? Listen, just listen. Oh my God. It's clear as day, everybody. Clear as day. You guys aren't very sleuthy if you can't hear Pool Hall Ace. You know how many people are typing in poor heart aches as if I don't know that that's what the lyrics are? I'm just telling you, it says a Pool Hall Ace. Okay? You don't need to keep typing it in over and over again.
I'm tired of it now.
Poor heartaches, 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 poor. God, I can't say that 10 times fast. Not as bad as hyoid bone, which, again, if you're new here, there isn't a soul out there that can quickly say hyoid bone twice in a row fast. I did, Gray. I really did. My dad was an auctioneer, so I shut the hell up. Okay, go do something else. Oh God. Oh Jesus. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, it's hard to say once fast. Hyoid bone. Hyoid boing. So I say boing every single time. We know, Danny, we know. I mentioned it at the beginning. Thank you, thank you. Who cares? Same old, same old. But when there's a mass shooting in Chicago every single weekend, nobody says a damn thing. Yeah, it says of the world, yeah. I've always known it says of the world, but it says, we are champions of the world. Or, we are the champions of the world after, It's kind of a pause there, and then it says that. But sometimes it just says we are the champions. So it says, we are the champions, we are the champions, we are the champions of the world, right? At the end. Doesn't it say that? At the end. So it doesn't end of the world at the very end? Jeez. I guess that is a Mandela effect. Because if it doesn't say of the world at the end, then I'm one of the people that thought it said that. But I thought it was just at the very end. It's at the beginning? Yeah. So that was a false Mandela effect? Who cares? Jesus. Alright, let me get to this case over here, right? We're going to definitely need some reading energy during this, though, okay? Alright, thanks. A Minnesota woman found dead in Seneca. State police are investigating the apparent slaying of a Minnesota woman whose body was found yesterday in a Seneca County cornfield. Kristin M. O'Connell, 20, of Burnsville, Minnesota, was pronounced dead by Seneca County Coroner Michael McLaughlin at 5:11 p.m., said senior investigator Robert Fainier of the state police. Her body was found a few yards into a 300-acre cornfield. Well, maybe we could try to find that. So Seneca, it's found in Seneca. Okay, Ovid's right there. Route 139. Anybody see it? Oh, in Ovid, actually. $32, $31. Wait, there it is right there. $139. Her body was found a few yards into a 300-acre cornfield along County Road 139 in Ovid. So she was found, and 139 I think only goes from here to here. So, you know, her body, you know, maybe it was found, you know, somewhere over here. I don't know, something like that. Thank you, Jessica Schuba.
I'll be back if you want me to.
Paper, reading wave.
On County Road 139 in Ovid. The site is about a quarter mile from a trailer rented by... Ooh, maybe we can get that in there. Hold on. Let's see. www. And by the way, all my searches on my screen will be gone forever from view because I put an app in there that deletes the search history every minute. Just so the trolls, I can put whatever the hell I want on the screen and don't have to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool. They put this guy's name in here. James Vermeer. In in Ovid, New York. Yeah, he's not there. Try that again. James Vermeersch. And this is 1980 something, so it'd probably be Naples, New York, maybe? There was one from New York in here. No address given. James. Let me try this again. This could be him. Oh, this could be. Yeah, so this one says he lives in Ovid. So this definitely could be him. I mean, how many? It's 78 years old. That kind of makes sense. Address history. That one's from 2006. 1990. Oh, see, I only had a P.O. box there. How shitty. Darn it. The site is about a quarter mile from a trailer rented by James Vermeersch Jr. of Ovid, a friend with whom O'Connell had been staying. So she was staying with somebody. It was a quarter mile from that residence. And we don't know exactly where that is. I do have his P.O. box, but that doesn't help do a damn thing. I could send him a letter. Huh? What are you guys talking about? Who's arguing in here? Yeah, I just said, you know, like, well, you said it's another mass shooting. Yeah, who cares? There's just so many of them. You know, well, basically what I was saying was nobody seems to care about the 5 or 6 people killed in the cities in Chicago, New York every single day. And we brought it up at the beginning. I obviously cared about it. Okay, but you know, I think it was disgusting that the guy was a racist killer, but at the same time, it's like, you know, there's a mass killing. It seems like it's every day now. And until somebody wants to do something about it, it's like, it's just, God, it just gets so tiring, you know. Especially when nobody cares about the mass shootings every single weekend in Chicago and other cities, okay? Right. So don't be one of the whiner types, Danny. If you didn't come here at the beginning of the show, then I don't need to listen to you cry and whine about how I worded something later. You know, sometimes I don't word things perfectly every second of every day, and I sure as hell don't need you bitching and moaning and crying because I didn't say it exactly how you wanted me to, okay? And plus, I was right in the middle of trying to figure out this case here, you know? Was there any way that you could just let me do that, or? Yeah, I mean, you could rewind it. I don't know if I said it just like that. I just said, who cares about, like, I go, yeah, who cares? Yeah, we already talked about it, yeah. Right. But that's not what I meant. You know, like, I don't care that somebody... At the beginning of the show, I told you that I think it's disgusting that somebody killed people for racially motivated reasons. You guys remember that? Like, put a 1 if you remember me saying that. Right. But it's just kind of like, the reason I said that here is because I'm in the middle of trying to go over another case and you just jump in and start talking about the shooting again. You know, we already talked about it at the beginning. So I said, yeah, who cares? Let me get to this one. You know, it's kind of an offhanded sort of, you know, just, it doesn't have a meaning to it. Like, I don't care, you know. But someone like you will think it matters, and, oh, did you hear Gray? And the trolls will say it because you pointed it out, and they like that kind of stuff. But obviously I care, you know, so. I do 3-hour shows, 7 days a week. Of course, there isn't every second of every show I'm going to say everything perfectly, all right? But it's the whining and crying if I didn't say something perfectly right. I guarantee it that you don't say stuff right all day long. I guarantee it. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I just meant like, you know, when some people go, hey, Gray, did you see this? I go, who cares? That's just my, just quick response every time. You know, when I'm on the middle of starting to discuss another case and somebody jumps in and says, hey, Gray, do you see the Delphi video? I go, who cares? Well, I care, Gray, because I had the... Okay, okay, I don't mean I don't care. I just, you know. Is there anything that you guys say that's sort of similar to that sometimes? We're just like, yeah, whatever, you know. What do you mean, yeah, whatever? Yeah. I mean, I also think it's just an absolute... I mean, I was listening to shows earlier, and it's like... And there were two of these black leaders, okay? And they were saying that they hope that this event doesn't turn into one of those big racially charged things again, because the media loves to stoke the flames of that. And they also both said that the structure in the family is creating a sort of, and then what they're referring to though is all the murders that happen in Chicago and New York and other large cities on a daily basis of people in their community. Okay, that's what they were saying. And so this one racist person shouldn't be a bigger story than the dozens and dozens and dozens of black people murdered every single weekend of the year in these bigger cities. Do you guys agree with that? I hope so. Need some Cindy J. Well, don't worry, 8675309. We'll definitely be playing some more Cindy J boom music later. I saw you up above there. Yeah, I think it's horrible. You know, but I didn't mean to sound flippant about it. I was just in the middle of going over something else. I look up and you're talking about a whole other case. Okay. Again. So if you felt offended by it, I'm sorry you felt that way, but I know what I'm thinking in my head, so I'm not going to apologize for what I said. Let's see. Well, this case got screwed over. Just as usual, you know. Anybody there? Got really quiet. Nobody's typing. Right. Well, I'll tell you what. If we get to 350 tonight, I'll donate 5 memberships again. All right. Thank you, Caligal 3. Hey, there he goes. I got past 300, and if we get to 350, I'll donate 5 memberships. Not that you don't get anything from it. We just give away 5 memberships. See, Gray's members pay for the 5 members. Well, no, it's income that came in, and that's what I'm going to do. It's just it's a way to raise extra revenue for the channel and thus the charities as well. Because I do give away a huge chunk, and it's mathematical. I'm here, but deaf now, so I can't hear you. Yeah, well, I'm going to have to keep pressing the horn every time the chat just kind of goes to a complete stop. All right? So it's up to you guys. Did you hear, Gray? He's now making people chat by hitting the horn. Did you hear that? All right, anyways. The victim was the daughter of Michael and Phyllis O'Connell of Burnsville, a suburb of Minneapolis. Kristin O'Connell attended a party in Ovid Wednesday, so she went to a party at that trailer, I guess. She left the party at 11:30 p.m. to take a walk. See, that already sort of sounds fishy, right? Like, you go all the way from Minnesota to a party in New York in a trailer, but I don't know how familiar you are with it. Then you go on a walk at 11:30. Other partygoers began to look for O'Connell at about 1:30 a.m. State police were notified about 1 p.m. Thursday. I was actually thinking of Herman in this one, just randomly, because it's in New York, and Herman would have been 20. What year was he born? 63, something like that. So he'd be 20-something years old, and this girl's 20. Thank you, Frazzled Cat. And I said it. We know, Danny. I said it in the beginning. Who cares? What?
Vodka?
That's not how I worded it.
I'll do some vodka if you want me to.
What's it called? Chat. What do you mean? They determined that the disappearance was completely out of character and initiated a search. The police did. But, great, what was her name up there? Or Danny, ICURN. Sorry if you lost a friend in one of those. I don't know who does that or anything. I mean, I don't know who in here has lost a friend in a mass shooting. Okay, but it has nothing to do with what I said. I think what people do a lot of times is they like to, what do you call it? They do the moral superiority thing, really to call out something that happened in their life to try to get attention. Like I really don't understand. Like, I wouldn't care at all if somebody said that if I was watching a show, especially the way don't bring me down, Bruce. Huh? Okay. I thought we were on to this next case, Jory. Woman's body is found near Ovid. The body of a 20-year-old Minnesota woman missing since Wednesday night was found near a roadway in the Seneca County. Let's see. Just off County Road 139. It's pretty much the same as the first article. So both of those are on the 17th. This one's on the 18th. Slain woman's parents seek comfort from a letter. So this is kind of interesting. When Kristin O'Connell was 10, her grandmother died, and she was struggling with the pain. So this is her. When Kristin O'Connell was 10, her grandmother died, and she was struggling with the pain and loss. She wrote herself a long letter. Writing helped her to work out her thoughts to get her through the anguish. Death is a subject pushed aside, never talked about. I think it should be talked about. It's part of life. This is what she wrote. It happens to us sooner or later. No one knows when it's going to creep up and grab you except God. Now, 10 years later, the Michael O'Connell family of 2808 Bryce Court, so I actually have her home way over here in Minnesota. Yeah, look at that. It goes street view down this little cul-de-sac. So she obviously lives in a pretty nice house there. That one right there in the corner. So that's where she lived. Looks like it's probably been the same one. Are you on rewind, Jory? I think so. Oh, they're just coming in from earlier? That's weird. That's strange. That's funny. Now, 10 years later, the Michael O'Connell family of 2808 Bryce Court, Burnsville, is ready and rereading the letter, touching it, and repeating it to strangers and friends, using it to help themselves work through their anguish. Some people die fast, others die young, some old. It all depends when God wants us with Him. The nude body of Kristin O'Connell, 20, was found Friday, so she was nude, near a cornfield in New York State. Her throat was slashed. She had bled to death. Tests show she had not been sexually molested. Well, I mean, I don't know. That's hard to believe. But investigators believe she might have died fighting off a sexual assault. Okay. Police investigators are calling it a homicide, an act of random violence in the small town of Ovid, New York. Family and friends say O'Connell knew no fear, loved life and living. She trusted people openly. But as her father, Michael, said, she was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Now it is left to O'Connell's family members to reconcile themselves to their ignorance of what or who killed their daughter, a tall, slender, friendly young woman. Phyllis O'Connell said simply that she couldn't have a better daughter, and she hopes officials find whoever killed her. Ovid is in west central New York, about 30 miles southwest of Syracuse. Kristin O'Connell had been visiting new friends, a young man she had met while on spring break in Florida. The two had been corresponding, and O'Connell wanted to visit him before school started this fall. She would have been a junior at Stout State University in, Menominee, Wisconsin, studying hotel motel management. She worked part-time at a stable near Burnsville to save the money for the trip. She loved horses and had one of her own. A family friend drove her to Ovid from Syracuse, New York, and she planned to stay with James Vermeersch Jr. and his friends for a week. She called Minnesota on Tuesday, told her family everything was going well, and she'd call again on Thursday. Instead, Vermeersch called to say she was missing. She had left the party at his mobile home Wednesday night to go for a walk in the country by herself. And that's sort of just a weird thing. I mean, I don't know. Like you travel all the way over there to meet somebody, and then you go for a walk by yourself. I mean, wouldn't the guy also want to go with you, or, It was a hot, humid, and police think she wanted to cool off a bit. Her aunt and godmother, Barbara Baer, said it was not unusual for her to go on walks by herself. Even at home, she'd go out by herself. She was the type of person who doesn't... Let's see, what is this? 1B... Yeah, doesn't think of the worst thing that can happen. She doesn't think of that. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen? She just went out for a short walk and never came back. Investigators are following up on hundreds of possibilities, according to Major Richard Tonis of the New York Highway Patrol. The road is a well-known rural shortcut and would have had quite a bit of traffic, he said. We are not ruling out any possibility at this point, he said, although Vermeersch and the other friends don't seem to be suspects. Ovid Fire Chief Robert Favo, who coordinated the search, said there doesn't appear to be any drug involvement or any alcohol involvement. Everybody at that party came from well-to-do families in this community. They are respected in this area. Wait a second. Tonis said that he cannot remember a similar violent crime in his 30 years. In her letter to herself, the 10-year-old Kristin said, "When someone's dying, they get all upset. Wouldn't you rather face the fact that you're dying and live what life you've got left in joy instead of sorrow, frustration, and pain? Seek, find, and rejoice. You can change my voice, you can dye my hair, you can shorten my nose, but you can't change me inside. I'm me, and I will always be me." Hey, that's like what I always say, right? In the back of my mind is things I've never known, the things of the future and the present, and in time they will come forward to me, but I'm so impatient. I wonder if I can wait that long. I wish somehow they would all come rushing out at me. When I sit in my corner and I think of the world, I want to roll up and die, but something inside me says no. So I keep struggling on. Why? The feelings are ready to seize my heart, but yet something's missing. Maybe it's love. Too many people in this world can face their problems, so they hide them, take drugs, try to run away from them. Are you one of those people? Think about it. I'd like to sail the ocean. I'd like to sail the sea. But before I sail anywhere, I must learn to be free. Funeral arrangements are incomplete, but one thing has been settled. Kristin O'Connell will be buried near her grandmother's grave in a small church cemetery in LaSalle, Minnesota. So this is, yeah, we're just still the 18th. People have reacted in disbelief to the brutal slaying of Kristin M. O'Connell of Burnsville, Minnesota. She disappeared Wednesday night after leaving a party at a mobile home. Let's see, there's an open door policy here. Folks don't lock their doors. Things like this are not supposed to happen. And it's so similar to a lot of... There's always a crime that changes everything forever in these small towns. We have no solid leads in terms that we are ready to make an arrest. State police investigators said O'Connell's body was found 15 rows back in a cornfield along Country Road 139, about 1/3 of a mile from the mobile home rented by James Vermeersch Jr., a friend O'Connell had met this year in Florida while on spring break. A dozen state troopers and investigators conducted a ground search yesterday in the cornfield and along Route 139 towards the village seeking evidence. Police said O'Connell had left the party at Vermeersch's home, attended by 8 people, shortly before midnight. So it sort of feels like one of the people at the party, right? I mean, O'Connell's father, Michael O'Connell, who arrived in Ovid earlier Friday before the woman's body was found, said yesterday that his daughter was fun-loving, but also had a serious side. She was somewhat religious and had put a lot of thought into becoming a nun. Michael O'Connell, director of edible protein packaging for the Pillsbury Company, said yesterday she was just a beautiful, fun-loving girl. Who is sick enough to do this to Kristin? David Chamberlain, 17, a friend of Vermeersch, said there were no fights or arguments at the party. She just went for a walk and didn't come back, Chamberlain said. When she left, no one figured anything was wrong. Vermeersch and his friend began to look for O'Connell about 1:30 a.m. and 12 hours later reported her missing to state police investigators. State police investigators said. About 9 police and local firefighters formed a human chain and combed the area. They found the body Friday afternoon in the 300-acre head-high cornfield. The road was busy with the traffic of employees of Seneca Army Depot and area campers. Vermeersch met O'Connell in the spring at Captive Island near Fort Myers, Florida, where she was vacationing, and he worked as a waiter. Vermeersch, 18, contacted at Guinea Lee Cafe and Vineyard, where he works, was visibly shaken by the slaying. Hey, thanks, Tammy Morrell. He would not comment about the death, saying, "The police told me not to talk to the press." He then drove off on his motorcycle. It's terrible that people's lives are altered because of this kind of act, said Michael O'Connell. How many parents and children will not experience fine things because they are afraid to go out? Flyers with a picture of Kristin O'Connell were posted by police. Kristin O'Connell lived with her father and mother in Burnsville. She was to start her junior year next year. Since meeting Vermeersch in Florida, Kristin kept up a long-distance relationship through letters. Kristin's father said he arranged his daughter's trip to New York to meet Vermeersch to get to know him better. He said she flew from Minneapolis to Boston on Sunday. A friend then drove her to Syracuse. Vermeersch and Chamberlain picked up O'Connell in Syracuse on Monday and drove back to Ovid. Kristin stayed with Vermeersch at his trailer. She was to fly back home Friday night, Chamberlain said. Michael O'Connell had hired private investigator Sheldon Furlong of Buffalo to look into his daughter's death. Vermeersch was dating another girl, and planned to tell Kristin about it when she arrived. Wow, why'd you let her come? If you're dating another girl, you're just... Vermeersch was dating another girl and planned to tell Kristin about it when she arrived in Ovid, Michael O'Connell said. He said Kristin had called home after she arrived in Ovid and was upset about the news. Yeah, of course. So when she went on this walk, she was, it wasn't like just sort of a casual walk. She was probably really upset. Like, man, I made this whole trip. And O'Connell said that on Wednesday, Kristin had gone swimming with Vermeersch and his friend and later shot a game of pool. On their way back to Vermeersch's mobile home, they stopped to buy sandwiches and beer, O'Connell said. He said Vermeersch later left to buy pizza, and Kristin left shortly after that for a walk. State police called the O'Connell family Thursday evening and told them Kristin was missing. She went out for a walk to look at the stars, and something like this happens. Hope they find whoever did this, said Kristin O'Connell's aunt, Barbara Baer. Man, that's crazy, right? You guys still there? I'm about to hit the horn again. About to hit the horn again. Yeah, this is 1985. Ex-Schofield woman murdered in New York. Yeah, investigation is continuing. Let me just move it forward to the 25th. 6 days later. Slaying no longer the talk of Ovid, but investigation reaction continued. It's been less than 6 weeks since Kristin O'Connell's nude body was found in a nearby cornfield. School kids hang around downtown and walk home alone after late football games, much as they did before the 20-year-old woman was found dead August 16th. But things are happening in Ovid and elsewhere as a result of the death of the Minnesota college student who came to Ovid to visit a boyfriend. A team of state police investigators assigned full-time to O'Connell case has tracked leads all over New York State. Hell, I sound like Blue now. Let's see. Since the slaying, a group of Ovid residents had met twice and will meet again next week. Okay, I'm going to move it forward here. So then there was like nothing. Then 4 months later, and actually that was. So what was that? That was. Oh yeah, now we're in 1986. So about 7 months later. It's been a year since college student Kristin O'Connell was found murdered in Ovid cornfield, but her bedroom at home in Burnsville, Minnesota is just the way she left it. Phyllis O'Connell said she may never be able to bring herself to change her daughter's room. I can't just go in there and put her things away and erase the traces of Kristin having lived. I don't know if I ever will, she said. O'Connell and her husband, Michael, were in Seneca County this week to visit the places where their daughter was last seen alive and where her body was found a year ago. It was a trip they felt they had to make, the couple said yesterday. I knew I had to come down here last night, Mrs. O'Connell said, as she sat with her husband in the office of senior investigator Robert Fainer and at the Waterloo State Police substation. It's almost like Kristin said, I had to retrace that last night she was alive. So the couple who stayed at a motel in Syracuse drove to Ovid, about 50 miles southeast of Rochester, Thursday evening and stopped at the field on County Road 139 where Kristin's nude body was found August 16th. They talked to people who had been with their 20-year-old daughter at a party in Ovid the night of August 14th when she left the party for a solitary walk and never returned. But they didn't find out anything that could help solve the murder, they said yesterday. You always hope that you can see something no one else has noticed, Mrs. O'Connell said. Fainer said James Vermeesh, Jr., the Ovid man Kristin O'Connell was visiting last summer after meeting him in Florida the previous spring, was never a suspect in her death. He was discounted almost immediately, Fainer said. Michael O'Connell, a Pillsbury County executive in Minneapolis, and his wife, a leasing agent for commercial real estate, said they are convinced that the person who killed their daughter and left her body in the cornfield was someone familiar with the area, someone who wasn't just passing through. It's not a main highway. You have to know where you were to be out in the area, Mrs. O'Connell said. It might not be a person who lives in Ovid, but someone who lives 20 or even 100 miles away but knew the area around there, her husband said. It's just very hard for us to grasp the concept of this being a random thing. If you knew Chris, you know that everybody liked her. Chris or Kristin, I guess. You wouldn't just go out and harm her. Chris was never afraid of anybody. Nobody ever hurt her. How could somebody kill her, Miss O'Connell said. But Fainer, assigned full time to the O'Connell murder case for the past year, said he has not discounted the possibility that the crime was committed by someone who had no local connections. There's always a Ted Bundy out there, he said, referring to a convicted killer on Florida's death row who may have slain as many as 30 young women in several states. We check on anybody that's arrested for a crime like this anywhere in the country. Fainer said his investigation of the O'Connell case has taken him to several states, including Alabama, Florida, Michigan, Massachusetts, and New Jersey, and occupied at least 1,200 hours of his time. No one has ever been charged in the case, but Fainer said that doesn't mean there are no possible suspects. You always have somebody in mind, he said. We're certainly not looking for a woman, but who knows? We haven't ruled out women, although it's most likely this was done by a man. The slain woman's parents said yesterday their talks Thursday night with others who had attended the party at the Vermeer's trailer a year ago convinced them that Kristin had chosen her new friends wisely. I'm pretty convinced, but those kids are good kids, Mr. O'Connell said. He and his wife said they were satisfied that the police had given proper attention to the investigation. We've met with other people who have murdered children, and we don't get the sense of dedicated follow-through that we're seeing here. Mrs. O'Connell said, I think all in all, the only thing that carries you through something like this is your faith in God. We know Chris is with God, and she's happy. I always have had a saying, we live to die, she said, but I never realized how much meaning it had until this happened to Chris. All your life, you're preparing for the end. I don't know. What do you guys think? This is kind of strange. Maybe it is Rex Herman, man. Where the hell was he from? How close is that to... I guess he's way over here. It's in New York, though. There's Blue again, making this breathing noises. I'll tell you what, though, you guys. I'll try to be less sort of flippant when somebody brings up something in there. Because I wasn't even thinking about what was even being said. I just was like, who cares? Let's get back onto this case, So it does make me feel bad that people think, like if somebody thought that that's what I was saying, like I don't really give a damn about a mass shooting. I mean, of course I give a damn, but sometimes I just read a comment and just go, yeah, who cares? Let me get going here. I could probably not do that, Maybe think about it a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Eugenie's ears are messed up. You guys even here? God, it's just ridiculous. I don't know, Danielle, she's not here. Why are you asking? You haven't made a comment all night until just now. Jesus. Are you awake? Okay, good. You just got what? P.S. I just got BK in here, so my comments could... I don't know what that means. You just got Brian Koberger in here? Yeah, no problem. Oh, remember the last time I hit the horn and you went, my ears hurt. Don't you remember? Yeah, but we just use regular words here, KK. There isn't an abbreviation for everything. Come on, don't you remember, Eugenie, when I hit the horns, you said your ears are hurt earlier? Okay, yeah, see you later. Yeah, we don't say stuff like BK for back. Give me a break. I'm going to start typing in sentences like, hey. There you go, everybody. What do you think of that? Can you make out what that says? Oh, God. Well, we also say Brian Koberger. No, most people don't know what that means. It's ridiculous. Everything doesn't have an abbreviation, and we don't know everybody by their first name. The new case doing good. What does that mean? Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Okay, yeah, well, do the abbreviation somewhere else. And here, just type in the full words, okay? Thank you. I didn't ask you what you thought, Kat. I didn't even know you were in here. American way of excretion. I don't get it, Nathan, man. But that's not surprising. I almost never understand anything that you type in. Hey. Oh, I see. See, Eugenie, you're like one-upping me on the dry humor, okay? Shit. So that was pretty good. So you guys didn't get the Eugenie side. Eugenie said her ears were messed up now. And then a few minutes later, after I hit the horn, I said, oh, Eugenie's ears are probably bad. And then she said, huh? And I thought she didn't understand what I was saying, but she literally couldn't hear me. That was pretty good, but I wasn't able to pick up on that quick enough, unfortunately. Oh, okay. He meant expression, not excretion. Well, I can only read what it says. Although more than 10 years have passed since the death of Minnesota resident Kristin O'Connell, so this is 1995 now, police have renewed their investigation. O'Connell was visiting friends in the town of Ovid when her body was found in a cornfield off Country Route 139. She was 20 years old at the time of her death, which authorities determined to be a homicide. Now State Police Troop E has set up a command post in the Willard Drug Treatment Campus in Ovid. That's kind of weird. And 3 weeks after that, 10 years ago, State Police investigator Mike Agostina was searching a thick cornfield along east side of Seneca Lake. Seneca Lake. So maybe... Where's that? Oh, over here. What? Side of Seneca Lake when he heard the excited voice of another searcher 6 feet away. He said something like, "Oh my God, here she is. Agostina, how could it be east side of Seneca Lake? It's not even close to that. This is 139 over here. I mean, I guess it is east side of the lake, but it's not like right next to the lake. That's pretty broad description there, don't you think? He says something like, "Oh my God, here she is." At his feet was the nude body of 20-year-old Kristin O'Connell. The Minnesota college student's throat had been slashed. She had been in Ovid for 2 days visiting a man she met in Florida. She went for a walk. She never returned. Her killer was never arrested. Today, the search for the murderer has been renewed with a devoted intensity generated by a special 7-man team of veteran New York State Police homicide investigators. And the team, one of 9 in the state, formed to investigate unsolved homicides and violent crimes, has some new information about the killing. The murder on August 14, 1985 is vividly burned into the memories of some of this small Seneca County community. So police hope someone remembers new details. Ovid residents such as Doris DeLuz, a home health aide, wonder why police waited so long to reopen the investigation. The investigation was never closed, said Vincent Snyder, senior investigator. They just kind of like ramped it up. Let me go to the 4. Let's see where. I'm just going to go on to the next one, anyways. So in October of 1995, murder victim's mom appeals for answers. Phyllis O'Connell believes things happen in their own good time, and she believes now the time is right to learn who killed their daughter 10 years ago, slashing her throat and dumping her nude body in a cornfield. I believe this time there will be an answer. We have dedicated men who are committed to solving this case. In August of 1985, Kristin, 20, of Burnsville, Minnesota, was a college student and the adored daughter of Phyllis and her husband Michael, a Pillsbury executive. She had come to Ovid to visit James Vermeersch Jr., a young man who had she'd met a few months earlier during a spring break. She had been in rural Seneca County. I mean, I think let me see if there's anything new on that. So 2B. I mean, we know she was at the party, and then the guy that she came to visit was dating somebody else, and she heard about it. And then she went on a walk. She went to a party in a trailer behind the Golden Buck restaurant. Oh, that's still there. Golden Buck. Wow. Still there. Jeez. A lot of times these small towns have the same. So that's where Vermeersch lived. And one of these trailers, right, like probably right here maybe. Wonder if it was this one though. See how that's missing now? But somewhere right here, let's see. Yeah, so right there. And then they said 1/3 of a mile, so now we can really... Well, that's it. I mean, that's already 1/3 of a mile. How does that happen? I don't get it. The night before, she had called her mother to say she had decided to come home a day early. Yeah, because she's dating somebody else. So we didn't know this part, right? So they went to a party in a trailer behind the Golden Buck restaurant on August 14th, 1985. The night before, she had called her mother to say she had decided to come home a day early. Yeah, it's pretty creepy. Hey, thanks, Tammy. Hey, look at that. Only about $5 or $6 bucks away from the 5 memberships giving out. The night of her murder, Kristin had gone for a walk alone at about 11 p.m. But she decided to come home a day early, so that must mean that she went there for love and then the guy was already with somebody else.
Do you know how creepy?
Why did he let her come there?
Cornfields is at night?
What an idiot.
No girl would walk alone on one at midnight.
That guy probably feels pretty guilty. I mean, why did he let her come visit her knowing that he had another girlfriend and was going to tell her when she got there? I mean, it was just better to just tell her in a letter or something. I mean, whatever, you know. That's a bothersome situation. It actually kind of bugs me a bit in terms of nefariousness. You know, it's something a little weird. And then she's going to leave a day early, so oh boy, we better do something now before she, you know. The night of her murder, Kristin had gone for a walk alone at about 11 p.m. She was barefoot and didn't have her purse. Police don't know what direction she took during her walk, but Phyllis O'Connell said she has a feeling she knows where Kristin was killed. Huh, really? When she came to Ovid a year after Kristin's death, Phil said she felt weighted to a spot along a back road behind the cornfield. I felt fear, anxiety. Oh, so you're a psychic. The week Phyllis took the walk again, although the cornfield now is planted in alfalfa, and weeds and bushes have grown along the road. When Phyllis came to that spot, she felt the feeling again. This time it was even more intense. I started trembling. I heard a voice saying, "Oh God, Mom, no, oh God, Mom, no." Really? She said she later returned with police to the spot, but did not experience as intense a reaction. She said she was never given up on the case. I continually go over it. I mean, is it right here? I mean, this... Because it's only 1/3 of the mile. Well, I guess, let me see. Does 139 go over... Oh, it does go over there. So if 139 goes that way, then maybe it is sort of over in this area. Right? Because they said it was east of this lake. But 139 goes to right here. I don't know. It's hard to... That's what it looked like in 1995. The year of this article here. Looks the same. Don't know. She said she never has given up on the case. I continually go over it in my mind. Kristin was a caring, kind girl. It's hard for me to believe anybody could have harmed her in that brutal way. In the 10 years since her daughter's death, Phyllis O'Connell said she consulted psychics and hired a private investigator to work on the case. Michael, whom she said was devastated by their daughter's death and lost interest in living, died of cancer a few years ago. Recently, she was has written a book about the trauma of dealing with the loss of her daughter. She hopes it will help other parents who are suffering. She is still looking for a publisher, she said. DeLapp said he asked O'Connell to come to Ovid to share any information she has. He said he shares Phyllis O'Connell's confidence that the case will be resolved. We have better resources, better technology than we did then, DeLapp said. Since the command post opened in August, it has received several telephone calls. He refused to discuss specifics. Then in December of 1995, judge orders DNA tests. Oh, whoa. The results of DNA tests on hair and blood samples might help state police decide whether a former Ovid resident is a suspect in the murder of a college student 10 years ago. Acting Seneca County Judge W. Patrick Falvey ordered samples taken from Gary L. Harris, 25, following his, well, if he's only 25, he would have been 15, following his appearance in court this week. Harris, who lived in Chapman, on Chapman Street, let's see where that is. Okay, just right there. Gary Harris. Gary Harris! But if it's 25, this is 1995, it happened in 85, so he would have been 15. Harris, who lived in Chapman Street at the time of the murder, was brought to Seneca County from Rikers Island, a New York City jail, where he is serving time for violating parole following a robbery conviction. District Attorney Donna Cathy said Harris is a possible suspect in the August 1985 murder of Kristin O'Connell, whose nude body was found in a cornfield, her throat slashed. The investigation into O'Connell's murder was reactivated in September when a 10-member violent crime investigation team from Troop E was formed. Among the leads that led investigators to Harris were hairs at the time at the crime scene, which had it looks like a black person's characteristics, and reports that Harris had been seen in the area around the time of the murder. Also, Harris was the only black male living in Ovid at the time of the murder, police said. Cathy said DNA testing was being requested now because it was not available in 1985. The test will eliminate him as a suspect or indicate that we should continue to focus on him. Harris assigned counsel Schundler Van Horn of Geneva argued that Cathy had failed to show cause why the samples should be taken. I mean, do they have samples of hair? I mean, what DNA sample does the state have, I guess is what I'm wondering. It's called rank hearsay, new statement by Anyways, I'm just going to move on to the next one. So then 3 years later, police get new leads in Ovid murder. So obviously that didn't pan out. The files in the unsolved Ovid murder of a 20-year-old Minnesota college student would fill a pickup truck, but new clues uncovered last week could finally lead to an arrest in the 13-year-old mystery. State Police Senior Investigator Vincent J. Snyder has read and reread the files countless times as a member of the 7-man team trying to break the case. Though it's been more than a decade since the nude body of 20-year-old Kristin O'Connell was found in a cornfield. So this is 1998. That's not 20-year-old. I mean, it's 13. Oh, the girl's 20. But yeah, it's not a... Snyder believes an arrest will come this year thanks to information police uncovered the past few days. We've always believed that this case was solvable, said Snyder, who's been an officer for 24 years. But this recent information, very honestly, makes me believe we may be getting close to making an arrest. But those gut feelings aren't new. They've occurred numerous times in the past, and investigators tracked down what looked like promising leads, only to discover the tips were mistakes, lies, or dead ends, said Captain Mark Fisher, who heads the Special Violent Crime Investigation Team handling the case. I've never seen a case generate so many leads that we thought would solve the case, but didn't, said Fisher. We thought we would close the case at least a dozen times, but the leads didn't pan out. The team, one of 9 formed statewide to investigate unsolved homicides, adopted the O'Connell case in June of '95. The team is so sure it will solve the murder 5 months ago, the state attorney general's office assigned an assistant attorney general to help prepare the case. Police also are sure they know what O'Connell was doing before her murder. She had gone to Ovid August 12, 1985, to visit James Vermeersch, Jr., whom she had met a few months earlier in Florida. She wanted to learn more about him before they started dating. 2 nights later, O'Connell, who resembled actress Brooke Shields, left Vermeersch's rented trailer near the edge of town to go for a bear... Why did they say that she resembled Brooke Shields? I don't really get that. Edge of town to go for a barefoot walk along Route 139, a dark 2-lane highway headed out of town. Okay, so I think I was correct the first time over on the right. That's the last time she was seen alive. Is this... Oh, that's 3B. (6A). Where the hell is 6A then? God, I want to read the rest of that one. It looks like it's all missing. 3B, 4B, 5. But 6A would have been back at the beginning. Can't see it. I think they cut that one article off. Hey, thanks, Jessica Schumacher. And there we go. Yeah, that's not what I wanted. Kristin O'Connell. This is June 1998, New York. And this article is June 11th. And there's nothing. God, how's that possible? Oh, January. Not June. Jeez. Okay, does this one have 6A in it? Hey, make sure to check those accounts. Unfortunately, we have to do that here. So it looked like it was the same article a bunch of times. I want to read the last part of that article somewhere. It's amazing everyone is here. Why is that amazing? Yeah, maybe a little bit. So it says, see O'Connell on 6A. Is the next one? So then it just goes to the same page again. Even when you, okay, what is that? So now it's B. Shit. That sucks, man. Yeah, let's move on to the next one. 2009. They still hasn't solved it, but there's DNA here. So DNA may solve 85 slang. So let's see. Crime investigators faulted the New York State Health Department on Wednesday for blocking efforts to use a sophisticated DNA technique. And see, that took New York. You remember how long it took New York to jump on the DNA train here? Hey, Cindy, just don't worry about it. It's not in newspapers.com. You're not going to come to the rescue. Let me go over the articles that we have left. I'm sure the answer's in there. Your head's getting way too big for something you didn't even really do that was a big deal. You looked something up on the internet. Good job. I'm going to send a cookie in the mail. All right. Crime investigators faulted the New York State Health Department on Wednesday for blocking efforts to use a sophisticated DNA technique to try to solve the 1985 slaying of a Minnesota college student in the Finger Lakes. Kristin O'Connell, 20, was visiting a friend in the village of Ovid 24 years ago this week when she vanished after leaving a party to go for a walk. 2 days later, searchers found her nude body in a cornfield with her throat slashed. State police and Seneca County investigators have been promised up to $40,000 in county funds to enlist a Dutch forensic team that specializes in sophisticated touch DNA. Oh, there you go. To solve cold case homicides. But they said state health officials have stymied the efforts because the Amsterdam lab isn't certified in New York. Touch DNA is a technique that can detect tiny amounts of cells left behind from a person's touch. We feel this is our last best effort to solve this case. Well, what item did you get it from if she's nude? We are very frustrated with the bureaucracy of the Department of Health that they won't take a world-leading lab where the lab people have tested. I mean, isn't it amazing how stupid some government people are? Sometimes they want to feel important, so they deny shit that's obvious, you know. The health department is waiting for the Dutch lab to apply for certification. Okay, and then there was this one article that one guy was retiring, the gold person, in 2018. He said, for about 10 years in the state police, Gold worked the homicide detail, and there's one case still open that he's determined to help solve before he dies. Kristin O'Connell from Minnesota was visiting a friend in the village of Ovid in Seneca County, Gold said. On a Wednesday night, August 14th, 1985, the 20-year-old left the party and went for a walk. She never came back, and Gold said he and the state police found her with her throat slit in a cornfield. Gold spoke with O'Connell's mother, Phyllis, just a couple of weeks ago. They still keep in touch, and she's already written a book, he said, but she's waiting for that last paragraph to say that we've solved the murder of her daughter before... not sure why it does that weird pixel crap. Before she releases it with a private investigator's license, he plans to continue to assist the state police on the case. That's probably one of my wishes before I die, that the murder of Kristin is found, prosecuted and held accountable. Yeah, so that was all there was on that part. In 2023, there was an article. What happened to Kristin O'Connell? This is March 2nd here. Hey, Cindy, I'll look it up at the end, okay? I was going to go back and try to find it again. Don't worry about it, Cindy, okay? Don't worry about it, all right? God, you're just, you try so hard. Don't worry about it. Just watch the show, you know? Let's see. It's a case that's left a lot of upstate New York confused for almost 4 decades. How could a 20-year-old girl from Minnesota be brutally murdered in upstate New York, and police have yet to name a suspect? Kristin O'Connell, a college student from Burnsville, Minnesota. From Burnsville, Minnesota, took a trip to Ovid, New York in August 19... The last article was from 2018. This is 2023. To visit a boy she had met on a spring break in Florida. So over here it says August 15th. Sometime during the day, Kristin called her mother to let her know she had planned on ending her trip early and coming home the next day. According to her mother, she sounded upset but wouldn't say if anything was wrong. Well, she was upset because the boyfriend, or the guy that she wanted to get to know better, informed her that he was dating somebody else. On August 14th, 1985, the same day, around 11:30 p.m., Kristin left a gathering. I mean, it must have been really awkward for her, you know? Like, she's like this odd person out. She goes this whole trip over there to meet this guy, and then now she's just some random person hanging out with people because there's no real connection anymore, because the guy she's going to visit has already stated that he likes somebody else. I think it's ludicrous that he had her go there. Yeah, exactly. Humiliating is the right word. Boom, Cindy! I'm just kidding. Good job, Cindy. Did you hear that? She came up with the word humiliating. Yeah, boom, Cindy. You got it, Cindy. Woo! You did it, Cindy. You did it, man. Alright. That's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, totally, though. Humiliating. That's the term. But anyways, then on the 16th, around 5 p.m., her body was found in a cornfield, naked and stabbed in the chest with her throat slit. Witnesses came forward to say that they saw Kristin walking along County Road 139, and others claim to have seen her stopped along the road. That's actually making me laugh now that I think about that music. Darn it. 8675309. August 16, 1985, around 5 p.m., her body was found in a cornfield, naked and stabbed in the chest with her throat slit. Witnesses came forward to say that they saw Kristin walking along County Road 139, so somebody actually saw her, and others claim to have seen her stopped along the road talking to someone in a car. Other people have said they saw Kristin walking back to the trailer she was staying at with two men following behind her. Jesus, that's totally all different. Despite having over 2,000 leads, and it seems none of them have panned out, since police have never named a suspect in the case even after 38 years. We began this investigation by talking with Kristin's now 82-year-old mother, Phyllis, to learn what the past almost 4 decades have been like for her. This has affected our family terribly, said Phyllis. My son, he will never marry. He was only 15, dealing with the death of his sister. My son, he will never marry. Huh. She went on to say that she has no grandchildren, just the memories of her daughter. Phyllis described Kristin as loving, caring, and responsible. We had a great relationship. I think we argued one time, said Phyllis. She was the one all the boys wanted to marry. Phyllis and her sister Barb, Kristin's aunt, sat and reflected on some of their favorite memories of Kristin. They talked about Kristin's love for horses, weddings, and people. She was the type of person that wanted to sit and chat about anything and everything going on in her life. Phyllis and Kristin had a very trusting relationship. And Phyllis, because of this, Phyllis let her daughter go on spring break during the sophomore year of college. One spring night, Kristin met a boy that happened to be from upstate New York, and at the time, Kristin was interested in getting to know him better. In August of 1985, Kristin packed her bag and headed to Ovid. She was so excited when she left that day, Phyllis recalled tearfully. She came in, kissed me, and said, "Mom, don't worry, everything's fine. It will be fine," said Phyllis. While Phyllis didn't like the idea of it, she trusted her daughter would be safe. So she left, and I haven't seen her. That was it. Since that day, Phyllis has continued to fight for justice, even visiting the town of Ovid a few times herself. She worried that when she passes, no one will continue to fight for answers. I promised Kristin, till the day I die, I will be after who killed her. Let's see. Don't keep secrets. Don't keep something like this going, Phyllis implored, because maybe the next person might be your daughter. There's a Facebook group called Justice for Kristin O'Connell where you can keep track of any progress made in the case. As of right now, this is still an open investigation, and anyone with information is encouraged to call State Police Troop at 585-398-4100. I'm going to go try one last time on that. Yeah, so it's like there's 3 of these. Page 2, page 1, page 1, page 6. Is this the one? Oh, there it is. There's the other part that I was looking for. Fisher believes O'Connell was attacked along the road and pulled into the adjacent cornfield. There we go. There we go. Investigators doubt the murder was planned. They think O'Connell was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Police don't know or won't say if more than one person was involved or if O'Connell knew her killer. There are other questions they would answer, including whether she was sexually assaulted. They wouldn't answer. See, I think she was sexually assaulted. They just said she wasn't. Abused, if the knife was recovered or if any of the killer's blood, hair, or semen was recovered. But in December of 1995, Gary L. Harris, who was 15-year-old Ovid resident at the time of the murder, was ordered by a Seneca County judge to give police blood and hair samples to see if he was connected with the killing. So that must mean that they have samples. At the time, Harris was serving a prison term in Rikers Island in New York City for a parole violation. According to a story in the Finger Lake Times, the DNA in Harris's hair was to be compared with hair found on O'Connell's body. Snyder wouldn't comment on the hair and blood samples. Obviously, Gary Harris has not been arrested, Snyder said. And well, you can actually get DNA out of hair now. And he has not been ruled out as a suspect. The DNA tests were not done in 1985 because the technology didn't exist. But those tests are being conducted today, and they've allowed police to eliminate suspects, said Fisher. Police won't say if they know who the killer... Well, man, they should be doing FGG on this, you guys. This is stupid. But investigators say the list of suspects is shrinking, and it's only a matter of time before the killer is arrested. O'Connell's mother, Phyllis O'Connell, in Burnsville, Minnesota, agrees. They've been working on it for quite... This is from 1998, again. I just found the second part of it. According to investigators, some of the suspects live in the Ovid area, which concerns some of the 600 residents. I often wonder if the murderer is still in the area, said Doris DeLuz, a 49-year-old child counselor who, with her husband and 2 daughters, lives across the road from the murder scene. Oh, well, let's see if we can find that. Come on, come on, come on. That's crazy. This is in Ovid, New York. Okay. Come on, come on, come on. Ooh, they're still there. Is it Doris? Yep. 75, that kind of makes sense. Oh, there it is. Hey. Hold on, address history. There's only one. Fortunately, it says 1991 to 2007. But we'll be able to tell if it makes sense, right? Oh, God, it is on that road right there. It's right over here. That was the other side. Remember I was saying right here? That's crazy. So that's right on 139. And across the street. And so this is where the... Come on, that's a boom there, you guys. That's a boom. And that's exactly where we were just saying. And this is probably the alfalfa field right here, maybe. So her body was found. And that makes sense, because watch this. What'd they say? 0.3 miles? So here we go. Let's see what it says when we get it done. Here we go. We're going to go like that, and then hit it right there, and measurement, and it's 0.32. Can I get a boom? That's what I'm talking about. 0.32. That's exactly right.
Yeah. Can I get a boom?
Yeah. That was a pretty good one. So she was found right over here. Really close. I mean, that's different too, because it doesn't seem as sort of out of the middle of nowhere This is just right in town here. And I bet you those, I mean, that's 1995. Let's go to 85. If you go up high, you can't really see it. But this is the same year. Just not a very good satellite image. Thanks, Ashley Hansen. I think I need to put that music to a super chat. with Mary Lou singing along. There'll be like a specific number, like some crazy... Yeah. Huh. That's wild, man. It's cool to get that confirmed. This is the other direction we were talking about earlier. Because they said it was near the lake over there. Often wonder if the murderer's still in the area, said Doris DeLuz. Kind of an uneasy feeling because you don't know if the killer is someone sitting next to you or it's someone long gone. Investigators feel the latter, like he's left. They worry the murderer left the area and has kept silent about the killing. Cases like this are solved when the killer brags about the murder, said Fisher, who believes that scenario is the only way the case will be solved. Police interviewed several people who boasted of being involved, but those boasts turned out to be jailhouse bravado or sick jokes. Meanwhile, continued news stories of the murder renew public interest in the case and bring about a flurry of calls and tips, just what investigators want. Hopefully people in the community realize we haven't forgotten about the case, Fisher said. Everyone feels a little vulnerable and wants to know who did it. Phil O'Connell is one of those people. I've forgiven him a long time ago, O'Connell said of the murderer, but he's put our family through so much pain and he has just walked away free. I don't think this individual really realizes what he's done and how much suffering he's caused. I want him to know. Well, there you go, everybody. I thought that was pretty interesting, you know. See, that's one of those cases you'll probably never really hear anywhere other than here. So thank you for spending the time and listening. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, who knows? It doesn't sound like it's a woman since they found hair on the person that they think matches an individual, but they didn't really test that back then. No, it didn't say anything about a woman at all, Cindy. They just said that the guy was dating somebody else, remember? And told her about it, so then she left early. Or she was going to leave early. Hey, thanks, Lanky Tor. Let's see. I almost feel like it'd be cool to talk to that detective and say, listen, if you guys have DNA, I work with, Identifiers International. We fund cases there. Maybe you guys have a hair sample and we actually, we'll pay for identifying the DNA from the hair or getting a sequence, and then they'll go find the individual using FGG, even if it's an African American person, which aren't represented very highly in there. They have an expert in that, on that in there. So that'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? I mean, wouldn't hurt to just call over there. I don't think. I don't know. They're so slow in New York. You notice how weird it is that they just finally did FGG on a couple of the LISK victims? I mean, why didn't they start doing that in 2018, the second that they realized that was a thing? I mean, it's almost ridiculous. Yeah, she definitely deserves answers. And yes, I'll work on not being so flippant where I say, "Oh, who cares?" Like that. I don't even really read as long if it's not something about what we're talking about. I say that sometimes. The mother deserves it. Yeah, that's incredibly irresponsible. Get off your ass. Yeah, well, they didn't change their laws there for a while. Like they weren't allowed to do it. Guess I'm idiot. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. See, I think it's valuable to go over all those old newspaper articles like that because, first of all, it sort of ingrains the basic stuff, and then when it keeps adding a little bit more here and there, so at the end here, we should all be able to say to ourselves that, it's interesting. Look where that Gary Harris individual they mentioned lived right there. And apparently they think they have hair from a black individual, and he was the only one that was black that lived in the area at the time, and he was in prison then, but they wouldn't do the DNA test or something. Let's see. Yeah, so let me see if I can remember this one. See if I can do the whole thing. So Kristin O'Connell went on, I think it was spring break, met Vermeersch here in Florida at a resort where he was like a bartender or something like that. And she wanted to get to know him. So later in the year, she, in the summer, she planned to go visit him to get to know him better. And they had been writing letters and so forth. So she, was flown into Boston, and then some family members or whatever drove her to Seneca, New York or something. And then Vermeersch and his friends picked her up and brought her over to a party. Looks like right here. And, they'd sort of been doing, getting food and whatnot. But he told her that, hey, he was interested in a different girl while she was there, so she decided to make her trip one day shorter. And then about 11:30 at night, while people were partying, she probably felt like an odd person out, really awkward feeling. Really, like ridiculous. So she goes on a walk and is walking down this road here, and apparently somebody attacked her. She was found fully nude with her throat cut, and she was found right here across the street from the Deluzes, right there. And it's been a crazy ride for the family over the years trying to figure out what the hell happened. Delays in DNA testing, etc. Alright, anyways, thank you guys for being here, and thank you for reaching the goal and then some, hitting the 350 mark to give away those 5 memberships tonight. Hold on. Where is this? Oh. I lost my control panel page. There it is. Alright, so thank you to Caligal3 and Tammy Morell with a double cat eye right out of the chute there. And Tammy Morell again, and Cheryl Bullock, Kathy Friedenmaker, Ashy Snow, and then 8675309, and 8675309 again saying, no, not that kind of boom. She wants this kind of boom. Eugenie, Julie Morales, CR, Music Maker, Jim Long, Robin Barada, Deborah Blum Rogers, Cindy J, Nobody said that there was any clothes folded neatly anywhere. Who said that? That wasn't in any of the articles that we read. A bunch of politicians just in. Anyways, the next one is CR, Michelle H, Lisa Valenzuela, Eugenie, 8675309, Frazzled Cat, Robin Berardo, Peter A Wrinkle in Time, Bama Forever with a cat eye, Caligal 3, Cheradubi, Jessica Schubach, Caligal 3 again with a half a cat eye basically, Frazzled Cat, Tammy Morell again, Jessica Schubach, Ashley Hansen, and Lanky Tor, and I gifted 5 memberships.
Yeah. Ooh la la. Ooh la la. Cafe, everybody. Friday, everybody.
I forget it. No, it wasn't in the article. Alright, everybody, thank you very much. We'll see you guys later. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now.
I don't agree with you.
And during this whole time, I have not seen one person.
There we go.
That is a crime detector.
Any of the word doesn't mean anything.
Projector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector.
Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray's gonna give another lecture. Lector, freak collector, and I'm always gonna be a protector. Full of lector, interceptor. And I'll mean a little spectre with a vector.
On his
Vector with a respector. Just remember,
I have a temple for
conjecture. I have no agenda. I'm a pretender. And I'll serve it to you straight without the blender.
And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you.
There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.
All right. Guess we need one more round of the. Okinawa. You guys hear that? Doesn't say Okinawa. No way it says that. I see a lot of F words going on in this thing, man. See? See, you guys hear that, right?
Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? Come on, man. What's wrong?
Be safe out there.